Okay, let's talk about the Champions League games from this week. Obviously, we have to start with Manchester United's complete capitulation, and it's not the first one that's occurred this season, and it's not the first one that's occurred in the Champions League this season. Against Copenhagen, they were 2-0 up very early on, then 2-1, then 2-2, then they were 3-2 up, and they ended up losing that game 4-3. And against Galatasaray, they were 2-0 up very early on, and then 2-1, and then they were 3-1 up, and then 3-2, and then 3-3. And I'm laughing about this, but obviously for Manchester United fans, that's not funny at all. That's unreasonably disappointing, particularly against two teams which, for the size of Manchester United's club, you'd expect them to be beating quite comfortably, and they just can't pick up points. They just can't beat these teams. You know, they beat Copenhagen 1-0 at Old Trafford, and that's the best result that they've had in this group, in a group that's considered quite an easy group by all standards. There's obviously issues with Ten Hag's inability to manage games. He's come out and taken responsibility for that. And damn right he should be taking responsibility for that. That's your job. You're the manager. You're the coach. You're supposed to be able to coach your players to be able to see out games, especially when you're 2-0 up in, the 20th minute of the game. You should be managing a game. That's your job. You're the coach. You're the manager. And so for him to come out and take responsibility for it, you're not going to get any preferential treatment from me for that, mate. That's your job. That would be like sort of me coming out and saying, I uploaded a video today. Well, of course you did. That's your job. That's, if you want to be a successful YouTuber or successful content creator, you upload content. That's your job, mate. And like Roy Keane says all the time, why are we giving praise to goalkeepers when they save a shot? That's your job. Eric Ten Hag, mate, that's your job. Well done for taking responsibility for not doing a good job. Garnacho scored again. He looks like a talented young player, doesn't he? That bicycle that he scored, and then to score in a important Champions League game. Unfortunately, this kind of leaves Manchester United in a sort of purgatory. If they'd lost, they would probably have been out of the Champions League at that point. If they'd won, it'd give them a good chance to, make it in second place and make it through to the knockout stages. And they're kind of in a bit of a limbo here right now. Manchester City, they secured a top spot in their group with a good win. Congratulations to them. That was the expectation for them, though. And to be honest with you, I'd be very surprised if they don't come close yet again this season. They could win it this season. Another team that's probably in with a good shot of winning it this season is Real Madrid. They beat Napoli 4-2. Napoli, a very good team. Bellingham gets on the score sheet again. Comfortable win, that tops their group. Arsenal laid down the gauntlet in the Champions League, laid down a statement. We're the team to come and beat. Beating Lens 6-0. Lens are a good French side, currently 6th in the league. Solid French side. And Arsenal by half time they were 5-0 up. They destroyed them. Comfortable win for them. And an unbelievable statement to lay down at this juncture in the Champions League. Very good result for them. Copenhagen, a bloody good result for them as well. Getting a 0-0 draw at Bayern Munich. Bayern are obviously a very good side. one of the favourites for the competition this season, alongside Manchester City and Real Madrid. For whatever reason, Copenhagen, they just couldn't find their way past them, and that's a really good result for Copenhagen. You know, that puts them in the mix to qualify for the knockout round. It puts them in a hell of a lot better position than Manchester United currently are. Copenhagen are on, that puts them on 5 points, which is pretty good for them. You know, it's pretty good for them. They're in the mix. And why not? A plucky team like that, they could make it. They could do it. And they could make not only Manchester United, but Galatasaray. They could become the laughing stock of the Champions League this season, because Copenhagen should not be qualifying ahead of those two teams, but they're in with a bloody good shot of it. Expectations obviously are that Bayern Munich will top the group. I'm not sure whether it's mathematically possible for them to be caught at this point. I would be doubtful that it is, but regardless, the expectation will be for them to top the group and put in a serious challenge for winning the Champions League. I'd be baffled if they don't make it to the semi-finals minimum. So a good round of Champions League football this week, and I look forward to the next lot of fixtures. See what happens. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, share and a subscribe, and comment what you think down below. What do you think about the Champions League results this week, and what are your predictions for who could win the Champions League? Let me know down below.